righty, good evening. I would like to reopen the Village of Bronxville's Board of Trustees meeting for April 8th, 2025, and ask all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are going to start tonight's meeting. We have a very special guest. We have our state senator, Shelley Mayer, here to, as she always does, to come and give us an update. But it's also our chance to say thank you. And the police chief was just talking about you in work session. Shelley helps us with problems. Shelley helps us with grants, and Shelley helped us navigate a very tough civil service issue. And we're just so appreciative because when we call, you answer and you help us. And we're very privileged to have you represent us. So we would love you to come to the microphone and give us a state of the state. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for allowing me to come by. Whoops, I've asked all of the Okay. With respect to Police Officer Longo, because this is an example of why Bronx is so fortunate to have you. You had an officer here in your department, a very qualified police officer who wanted to take a promotional exam, and for reasons that have to do with bureaucracy and intricacy and laws between the state civil service and the county civil service, was ineligible to take the promotional exam for a number of technical reasons. The mayor brought this to my attention, as she brought to other people's attention. I was persuaded, as she was, that this was really profoundly unfair and that we should try to do something about it and not just complain about it, which is the way we have dealt with problems in Bronxville. At least I pride myself on working with you in that way. I had my team work very hard. We actually drafted a bill specifically for Police Officer Longo, but then we realized that posed some additional problems for other people who were similarly situated. So working with the county executive, Ken Jenkins, at the time the deputy, he was the acting, right. He was able to persuade the County Civil Service Commission to delay the test and change the eligibility rules. And now Police Officer Longo hopefully will score well on the test. I understand she took the test and will have the opportunity to be promoted, which the chief told me was extremely important to him, that she have this opportunity, had great faith in her. So whatever the results are, she had the opportunity because of your persistence, Mayor and this board, in making sure that we work to change the rules when they don't work. And that's what government should do. And I'm very honored to be able to work with you in that regard. But just going back to sort of the nuts and bolts of what we did. We passed a budget, although late, was a balanced budget. It did not account for anticipated cuts from the federal bill because the federal bill had not yet been passed at the time we passed the budget. And also it's unclear how extensive the cuts were going to be. We passed a budget that, as the chair of the Education Committee, was good for schools. And the Bronxville Public Schools, which are not owed more under the foundation aid formula, nonetheless got a 2% increase in foundation aid. We did the bell-to-bell cell phone ban, which I think Bronxville is already sort of moving down this path. But this is part of an effort to really restore social interaction and move off dependency on internet devices during the day. I happen to think as much as it's important to teachers and educators, it's important to us as parents and grandparents that our kids learn to talk to each other in the lunchroom, talk to each other in the hall, engage in the regular conduct and misconduct of young people, but do so without looking at their phone all day and dependent on that as they have become addicted, as frankly many of us adults have as well. So that was important to the governor, and although I disagreed with certain aspects of it, I'm working closely with the superintendents to the extent we need to modify as time goes on. I think in balance, it's something that was extremely popular, and I appreciate it. Another thing we worked on in the area of non-public schools, which is probably relevant to many students in Bronxville, is that we extended DASA, which is the law against
No. Thomas, do we have a backup? Okay, thank you.
Oh, I know that feeling. Don't we all know that? So thank you, not a problem.
Senator, could you get us some battery money?
That's probably out of my pocket. Mayor. Out of my pocket.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, we extended that law to non-public schools at the request of the parents of this young person who took this tragedy and made it into something that I think is good. And we did some other extensions for non-public schools requiring AEDs in the event that students, particularly people engaged in athletics, have heart problems. We've already extended that to public schools. Some of the other things we did, EMS, very important to me, particularly after COVID. Thank you to all of our EMS providers. But EMS is really a patchwork of different communities with different arrangements, and everyone knows that. We don't have a uniform state system. Although we have standards, they're not uniform. Working with many, many stakeholders, we were able to achieve a compromise just to get our foot in the door, to have villages, towns, and cities work with the counties in assessing the strengths and weaknesses of what they currently have in EMS. And we know when there is the need for one community to cover another, that creates problems in the home community. We also don't have a funding source for EMS, and we did not get into that. But we need this conversation to begin. And it took a lot of doing. I've been working on it since COVID, because the EMS folks were really heroes during COVID and got very little recognition. And they're hard to hire, retain, and promote. So we started something there. I'm very happy about that. I do want to mention some things that have occurred. You may know I've taken the lead in the fight against Con Ed's proposed rate increase. Thank you to the village for being among the almost unanimous intervention of the parties against the rate increase. The county legislature, I think 41 out of 42 municipalities in Westchester. Thank you for your leadership in fighting this. I have probably never heard of so many angry people as last winter, and rightfully so. They simply could not afford their Con Ed bill, and it was not related to usage. It was not related to usage. There's nothing you can do about wearing extra sweaters and turning your thermostat down. You're still going to have a bill close to $1,000 for many of my constituents. As a result of not only opposing the rate hike, I have introduced multiple pieces of legislation to change the way rates are set by utilities. These bills have passed the Senate, not the Assembly yet. I'm going to continue to work on them. But I think we've sort of given in to the utilities in a secret process that does not allow consumers to be the top priority. And I'm very dissatisfied with the Public Service Commission, and I'm going to continue to work on the legislative front while I oppose the rate increase. I encourage everyone here, if you haven't, to please go to the Public Service Commission online and register simply your sentence opposing the next rate hike. It's important to hear from enough people. Most recently, I just sent a letter on behalf of 25 of my colleagues opposing a proposed 18% increase by United Healthcare for Medicare Part B, for us people who are in the Medicare group. And 18%, again, in this climate is not acceptable. Not that there's some increase that's necessary, but I think we do have to focus on what our folks can afford. And I know you do, and I do, and I'm going to continue to be quite outspoken on that. A few other issues. After the federal bill was passed, they're clear they're going to be very substantial reductions to the New York State budget next year. In the interim, we gave the governor authority to reduce spending by taking money out of the, basically the fund that we have as a balance, like a fund balance account. But after that, for next year, we are going to have, be realistic, we are going to have to cut spending. And it's so unfortunate, but the Medicaid cuts themselves are huge impact on New York's Medicaid program. My district alone, 10% of the people are on Medicaid. I just saw the numbers. This is going to affect everyone, not just those on Medicaid. Hospitals, nursing homes, they probably come to see you. You have a fantastic hospital here, part of a big system that's going to be very adversely impacted, as well as food stamps, the SNAP program, Head Start, so many other programs. So we have to prepare ourselves and be honest about a tough year coming, and I'm very aware of that. I don't want to go on too long. I want to mention two other things. I've been very fortunate to have some funds that have been given to me that I'm able to share. We were just talking about this year I gave $20,000 to the Bronxville Community Foundation to help them improve their website and accessibility so that people know about the work they do and can apply for these small grants that are game changers for these small agencies. The Picture House, I was able to give $250,000 of capital to help improve their facilities. I was happy to go to the health fair recently and met with them today. The Bronxville Library, I was able to give $100,000 several years ago and work with you, Madam Mayor, on painting underneath a train track, still something. And I look forward to working with you on many other things. As the chair of the Education Committee, it's my honor to go to the Bronxville School and high school all the time with the mayor and honor these fantastic athletes and activists here. I look forward to continuing to do that. And I just wanted the opportunity to come by and give a brief summary of what we as a collective have been working on. Oh, last thing, vaccines. So in light of Secretary Kennedy's decision to require a patient to have a doctor prescription for a COVID vaccine, I have so many people who are either over 65, have a health condition, have young children that they wanted to get vaccinated, who were not able to go to CVS as we did during COVID and just sign up for COVID vaccine. The governor issued an executive order that will allow pharmacists to give vaccines directly without impairing their license in New York, and will allow doctors to give non-patient specific orders. So for example, my doctor could say, all the patients I see, all of them have an order, and you can just take it and get the vaccine. It is for a short time, the hope that this issue gets resolved at the federal level, and it's not entirely clear that insurance will pay for it, but I give her a lot of credit because in my district that goes from Yonkers to Pound Ridge, I have hundreds and thousands of people who are extremely dependent and anxious to have the COVID vaccine. So now we will have an opportunity over the next short period of time to get it. I'm happy to answer any questions, and thank you for letting me interrupt the proceedings.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all.
That's my job, but thank you.
You know, I appreciate you coming, and I really do think the relationship this board has with you is the way government should be working.
Agreed.
So I appreciate the way we connect, and all for the benefit of this village. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to deviate on things tonight because we have another very special guest who unfortunately is not going to represent us anymore. The wonderful Carol Upshur, who has been a Green Committee backbone of our Green Committee team and has spent hundreds of hours, not dozens of hours, working on numbers, doing all the really hard work to get us where we are. We started as not even on the charts, and thanks to Carol and her colleagues, we are almost a silver committee in the entire state. So we got an email this summer, just when I thought this summer was going really well, and it had Carol's name on it. And I always like to see those because they're always good, except it said she was moving to Pelham, which was not good for us, but it certainly is good for Pelham. And you just have done so much to get us where we are that we wanted you to be here tonight. And I look around the room and you are, by the number of people from the Green Committee, gosh, I feel good for you, and you just must feel wonderful, and you deserve it. And Helen Knapp, our Green Committee liaison, Helen wanted, frankly, the honor to talk about you a little bit. So, Helen?
Thank you. Okay, so and you've doubled our usual audience at least.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This is fantastic by all your supporters. Oh, your family too. Oh, welcome.
Wow.
So I have to say, I am in awe of Carol. Really, and we have all worked with many amazing volunteers in this village, but Carol really stands out to me, and I think all of us, for her hard work, her dedication to sustainability, and her extraordinary love of data. I think is the really thing that sets her apart. For someone who has only lived in Bronxville for 7 years, her impact has been amazing. She joined the Green Committee in 2020, and in 2021 became one of the original members of the very small but mighty Climate Smart Communities Task Force, which was created to provide a framework to prioritize and implement efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote sustainability for our community. The task force worked for almost 18 months to complete and document 20 action steps outlined in the program and accrue all the points needed to achieve bronze designation, a remarkable accomplishment in such a short period.
Yeah.
One of the most important steps that Carol spearheaded during this effort was the greenhouse gas inventory of municipal operations. Completed in 2022, an emissions analysis report that was based on 2018 data. Now, the amount of work that, as the mayor alluded to, the amount of work that Carol and members of the Green Committee and the task force did to compile this data was just extraordinary. It included examining monthly bills for electricity, heating oil, natural gas, and water usage back to 2018, records that were hiding for years in obscure corners of the village or in the county level, in Con Edison, were no match for Carol's tireless efforts to obtain and analyze the data.
Yeah.
And if the data could not be found, despite Carol's efforts, she created a methodology to impute the information that was needed. As part of this analysis, she also undertook a complete inventory of the entire fleet of village vehicles, calculated miles driven and fuel consumed, surveyed village employees for distance and mode of commuting, and even sweet-talked the Eastchester Fire Department into sharing their records about their energy consumption for the firehouse, which is, as we know, is not an easy thing either. So this analysis of our emissions served as the basis for another huge accomplishment that Carol helped spearhead, which was the creation of Bronxville's Climate Action Plan. The plan was adopted by the village at the end of 2023 and targets a 40% reduction in greenhouse gases by 2030. 28 actions to improve energy efficiency were proposed, and to date, we have completed or made progress on all but 7 of these steps. And that might be even more now. I don't know if my data is outdated. We have already reduced emissions by 20% from the 2018 baseline by implementing such actions that Carol and the Green Committee advocated, such as new EV chargers in our village, energy efficient lighting, food scrap recycling, and cleaner, more modern heating systems. And not only all that, but these projects that were documented by Carol and the Green Committee made the village eligible for up to $200,000 in grants through New York State's Green Energy Communities program. Part of these funds have already been earmarked for a solar installation on the roof of the DPW building, which is really a huge and exciting development for the village. So Carol, we just really, on behalf of all of Bronxville, want to thank you. You've helped us take huge steps towards a greener, stronger future, and you've shown us really what leadership looks like. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to say a few words as chair of the Green Committee. We have many, many Green Committee members here, and we miss Carol already. We're all sad to see her go, but I'm not too sad because I had the consolation prize of buying her Midland Gardens apartment. But she's just around the corner in Pelham. And we know we're going to remain good friends, and she's going to be a great resource as she connects with the Sustainability Committee there. So thank you, Carol. We wish you all the best in your new home.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's really been a joy for me and been such a collective journey in which almost everyone in this room has contributed. A tremendous pleasure to work with Jim, other village staff, the mayor, all the trustees, especially Helen, our climate liaison, Ellen and Marie, and a lot of the Green Committee members. Our work really represents the best of how governments and citizens can come together to address significant challenges so successfully. Over the last 5 years, as Helen has outlined, we've just accomplished so much. And it was unbelievable to me when I presented the first greenhouse gas emissions report at first, and all of a sudden, Jim and Mary decided we're changing all the streetlights in the village automatically. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, we don't even have to advocate and push and whatever. Do you know that we saved 500,000 kilowatt hours of electric consumption by converting those streetlights? And not the least to say a few $1,000, 20, maybe $30,000 in expenses. So really just an example of when we all learned what we could do, we took it on and accomplished it. So I do really appreciate learning with you and working with you. And I have told everyone I want to be cutting that ribbon for that DPW solar array.
Yeah.
That will produce over 150,000 kilowatt hours. Again, offsetting a good percentage of the village's electric consumption. So it's been rewarding to make so much progress so quickly. I'm moving 5 miles away. I'm just down the road. I will be on call. I'm forever the professor, and actually the local Westchester and various climate groups have me speaking, and it's also been very rewarding to connect to a lot of the other villages and towns in Westchester. We all work together, and that's how we accomplish things. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. What an example of, you know, the true spirit of volunteerism, and boy, did Carol make a difference. And Pelham is lucky to have you. So, yeah. And Jim, do you want to mention Nicolette in relationship to being a little partnership with Carol?
Yes, Nicolette is here with us also. Carol, didn't you introduce us to Nicolette, who is a current student at Sarah Lawrence College, graduate of Byram Hills High School. Nicolette she has taken all the all the data that Carol was referring to and Trustee Knapp was mentioning regarding the benchmarking of going through those utility bills. And now all the 2024 data is out on the website and that whole updated report. And I got to say, Nicolette, honestly, you've just been dedicated. She's worked on so many projects, but the staff lover, you're really more than an intern, and you really have been balancing so much over the course of the past several months. So really thank you, and hope we can, that you can continue to work with us. But there's just a lot of that data that has to go into making sure that we get those points, and she's been following through on that. So thank you.
You made a great team.
And we're very close to achieving silver status now too, right?
Yes, but I told you, we don't give up till we're gold, right? Yes.
That's how
yes.
this whole thing started. I think Mary found out there was some community that she's in competition with.
Yeah,
And she's like, we got to do this too.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And I'm just going to introduce, I think, and then if anybody has to leave, I so understand, but I'd love everyone, since we do have a nice audience tonight, to meet our new village engineer. Oh, come on up. Yes. This is Ashaki. Ashaki is, I'm still in awe, having gone to Wellesley College and down the road. She is an engineer from MIT. So I stand in awe of your skill set. We're just so happy to have you, because having an engineer in-house is really already helping projects. We don't have to hire consultants like we did, which took up more time, took up more outside money, and you really are already laser focused on the intricacies that are Bronxville. And Jim, if you want to talk a little more about Ashaki.
Sure, and just some additional details on Ashaki. She's worked for WSP. Many of you know WSP, a premier engineering firm that before Ashaki designed our traffic signal improvements out here at Gramerton and Pondfield, and Midland and Pondfield. She also was with New York State Department of Transportation for many years, and was involved in some very big projects, including the pathway on the Henry Hudson Bridge. So anyway, and yes, the Ashaki's dived right in. One of the projects we started to talk about in our work session, Ashaki, was again the repairs to the Milburn wall, which you're currently working on. So yes, she's been shadowing me around the village. We have multiple Con Ed projects going on, and of course stormwater projects, as you know. And anyway, welcome aboard again. And I think she finds that it's the staff have really been welcoming and supportive, right?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Jim. Everyone's been so welcoming, such a warm welcome. I feel already at home here, so I just appreciate from everyone here, everyone that I've met, just the warm welcome. And I'm really excited to serve you all and work on projects for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. What I'm going to do tonight, and folks, if you have to go, I understand, I'm going to kind of flip. I'm going to do the mayor's report, the administrator's report, and then I'm going to let anybody who also wants to talk about a topic, because we actually have a very long list of new business. Much of it, quite frankly, is housekeeping. There's not much on it that's terribly exciting. So I want to save folks the time. So after the trustees and I and the village administrator give a little state of the village, I'm going to go to sort of open comments. But if folks would like to leave at this juncture, totally understand. And thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Carol, it was wonderful your family is here.
Really.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Carol.
Nicola. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Great to
Thank
see
you. Thank you, Senator.
You got a great team of women.
I know, do you believe how?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, she got a great turnout.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
I didn't stay for you. Thank you for you three for staying.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yes. Hello out there. Yeah. All right, just a quick update. I wrote last week in my column about, honestly, this was one of the busiest summers in such a productive way. We did a lot, as you noticed, in downtown improvements, drainage improvements. We're doing a paving schedule. Thanks to Trustee Fredericks, we're on to our repair and replacement of historic signs and tree planting.
Thanks to the Bronxville Historical Conservancy.
Exactly. And thanks to our Thomas, our village administrator, assistant village administrator. Jim, I took away your job. We now are, you can watch our meetings on your phone, on YouTube. We're getting much better in our technology because many of you have mentioned that. And I just want to mention too, we're so excited Metro North, after years of conversation, is letting us work on the embankment to try to do some planting, cleaning up. And it's been a long haul, but we're working with our garden groups, and we're going to start on the New York City, the southbound side, where everyone stands every morning. And I think it's really going to make a difference. And we're just glad they agreed to partner with us. It's a big change for us. And I just want to thank every one of our garden groups, because without them, the village this year just looked beautiful. And they worked hand in glove with us on all our road changing and all our islands. And we have just some of the best volunteers anywhere. You saw it in the Green Committee, and the same is from our 3 different garden clubs. I just want to announce a few things, because things are happening between now and the October meeting. And trustees, if I forget anything, September 11th at 8:35, Eastchester Town Hall is going to have a 9/11 ceremony honoring the 24th anniversary, if you can believe it. Next week, Mr. Palmer and I do our annual visit to the Boulder Ledge Garden Club, where we talk to them about needs and wants in the village. And they've already committed. I spoke to them. They're going to do a nice hydrangea hill over at the Maltby Play Park. Then we have on the 18th, the last concert on Park Place, totally sponsored by Pete's, and the theme is halfway to St. Patrick's Day, which I did not know. And they're going to have an Irish trio and food and just a fun night. So that's the 18th. On the 19th, it's going to be the fundraiser on craft for our picture house. And again, with the help of incredible local merchants, La Casa is doing specialty drinks, taco project, there's music, special screening of films, and it's all going to be outdoors on Craft Avenue. So, and as you know, our picture house is a not-for-profit. Some folks think of it as, oh, it's a lovely movie theater, but they count on us just like every other one of our not-for-profits. So you can go on the picturehouse.org, buy a ticket to the event, or even donate. I just thought I'd share, it was amazing to me that even when they have a blockbuster hit, so the movie theater gets relatively filled, the studio of the film takes 80% of the ticket price. So, it's a tough business, and they do so much more than movies, arts, education. They bring in children from all over for things. They just do such a service for us that I hope you'll support them. On the 24th, 6 to 8 at Siwanoy, our Senior Citizen Council is honoring the Reformed Church for giving them space to function for 50 years at the church. And again, to our seniors and to our Reformed Church, a major thank you. And finally, we're having a fall sidewalk sale, the 26th and 27th. That's a Friday and Saturday, and there's going to be free parking all over the village. So come and do some early shopping. And I think that gets me to our next board meeting, but those are the events coming up. Trustees, anyone have an announcement or Mary? No, everybody, I think I did cover.
Everything on your list.
I did kind of do a lot for my.
Mary, I just like to touch on one of the points you made about the downtown, and I want to thank Jim and the team
Yes.
for all the work you did. Downtown has never looked better with the physical improvements that have gone on there, and it's a long time happening and hard to implement. And then the work that's been done by the volunteers, the BBC and the other garden clubs, the village has not, the downtown has not looked better in the 33 years that I've lived here.
And also big thank you, our DPW did over and above. I mean, they were planting, they worked so cooperatively with our garden groups, gave us the money, the plant money, but they were down there watering and keeping everything alive. And the whole thing involved engineers and traffic control. I mean, it was all a several-year project, and Jim, you really spearheaded it, so thank you. And it's a good time, then I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks. And just on that note, again, it is, they say it takes a village. It's just a great team effort. The DPW, though, does dedicate a whole person now to watering.
Yeah.
But, we got an amazing chief of police, and the two of us were out there looking at these locations with the engineer, because what's on paper is one thing, but but here the community is great. Everyone appreciates the details, and, and it takes a lot of buy-in, and the BBC, the working gardeners, these volunteers, while the planting was done by a landscaping company, the dedication of these volunteers to pick weeds on weekends or in the evening, or to spend the thoughtful time with the layout, well outside of my expertise. They're just, they're wonderful, dedicated volunteers who care, and it really helps inspire the paid staff,
Yeah.
I tell you, but, special thanks to the chief who's, driving around the village for 37 years. He's, we all make, we all make a great team. So, and with that note, I probably should mention that, well, not one of the items that I'd like to add on the agenda is Ashaki is currently working on an application to the county for improvements that we could make at Meadow and Pondfield, working with that same theme of what I call bumping out, reducing the length of the crosswalk by improving the sidewalks and curving, also at Meadow and Pondfield. It's one of those heavily traveled locations. It's a logical choice to do. And frankly, the downtown, they loved them so much. NICOM is now promoting them and put them in some of their pictures. The county has included some of those designs. So really appreciate everyone. But now Ashaki's driven around, she's seen what we're trying to accomplish, and it absolutely is working. You see traffic being a little bit more mindful and slower. And this is just, yeah, I think the village was very much ahead of other communities that are now duplicating us on these road diets that can be done and look pretty. And even seeing how many residents have now sponsored these planters. So anyway, so we'll add that. But on that note, we've done, as we've done with the other projects, we start with a pilot project where we do striping, which is inexpensive, and we add some bollards so that we can test it and see how it works with cars and pedestrians. And so on Meadow, from Pondfield to Garden, we did add that 5-foot crosswalk area, and the school has been very supportive of this as well. And we had approached the school superintendent over at the end of last May to work with us to encourage students to leave the cafeteria to the crosswalk on the northerly side of Meadow, and then walk up to Pondfield, and then continue down to one of the signalized intersections, rather than have these massive amounts of students, both in the morning and especially at lunchtime in the afternoon, try to traverse Pondfield. And the chief was out there with the lieutenant on the first day, and it seems to be working well. So what we want to do with this application into the county, if this program works, is install a new sidewalk which would extend on Meadow from Pondfield to Garden. That existing sidewalk, as you know, is really non-existent. There's beautiful trees that are there. So that sidewalk is no longer. So what we envision is turning that, keeping those trees, adding a mulch pit, putting a new sidewalk in front of that area. And again, the purpose, not have the students during lunch break. There's no need to go all the way over to the other side. They should be doing it farther up. And this is something that we worked on. So if anyone sees that, that's the purpose of that current program. And we've also striped out where the bump outs would go, again, to extend the curbing and the sidewalks out a little farther to help the sideline, because as you know, a lot of conflicts with families coming down Meadow after dropping off or picking up students at St. Joe's. So all part of that project to continue with the traffic calming in the downtown, and we want to take advantage of some county money. So the only other thing I wanted to mention is, yes, Mayor, you mentioned the YouTube. The village has been on YouTube. It's a special thanks to Thomas. Today we're now on broadcasting our meetings live on YouTube in high definition, and many residents know they can currently access our board meetings on YouTube by going to the village website and clicking on YouTube or the YouTube link itself. So this is progress. We still, of course, have our cable channel, but one of the items again tonight, housekeeping, we added the additional cameras, better resolution cameras, but we've also been working to improve the audio. As you know, cable still has a place, but it's got a limited use. And frankly, what I've learned through Thomas is that Cablevision and Verizon are not going to be improving the resolution of their cable channels. It's just we're fortunate that we got a lot of PEG money when we did the initial franchise agreements. But so anyway, we're promoting that channel more. And the other items, all about the projects that are ongoing, we'll get into just under new business. So I don't,
Okay.
I really don't need to add anything else. Thank you.
I'm not sure I'm happy about the high def, you know. Yeah, I don't think I signed off on that one. All right, we're just going to thank you, Jim. I need a motion to approve our minutes from the executive session, the work session, and the regular meeting of July 21st. Do I have a motion? And a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, and I'm just going to flip the script tonight because, as I say, we have things that are moving fund balance to capital, and I thought some of you might have something else you'd like to do. So in respect for your time, everyone can talk on whatever topic, and if you would help us by keeping within our 3 minutes, that would help.
Your
And-
name and address.
And, oh, yes, if you would, your name and address. And thank you. Come forward.
Hello, thank you, Mayor Marvin.
Well,
and
thank
the
you,
rest of
Philip.
The trustees. My name is Philip Von Marin, and I'm very happy to say that I shaved this morning, so I will look good on HD. I'm here in the capacity of a new group that's been formed called Friends of Bronxville Elections. And we wanted, first of all, to thank the trustees and the mayor for facilitating putting on the ballot this November the proposition to change village elections to the November cycle rather than March cycle. We think this is a common sense, nonpartisan issue, and we invite all of the trustees to join us in support of this proposition. And anybody else in the village watching on YouTube that would like to join us, we would also be very appreciative. The idea is to bring the village together and to save some money, which is very near and dear to all of us right now, as we heard earlier about the increasing amounts of funds that are going to be required to spend on heating this winter and so forth. So we want to ask each of you and all of you to support us in this effort. And we think this is very much for the collective good of Bronxville and the citizens of Bronxville, because it will increase participation enormously and allow for more competition, which is sort of the basics of a healthy political system. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I see some other guests, and please come up. Good evening.
Hi, thank you. Steve Kraus, 8 Vine Street. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate all you do. Wanted to actually address what I think is a traffic safety issue of of our own, specifically on Vine Street, which is a cut through. A lot of kids walk through, people bike through. A number of the driveways, but frankly, especially mine, are narrow, and if people park near the driveway, it's really hard to see kids walking by or people biking by. And we were hoping that you would look at that and see if we could have a regulation on Vine Street to prevent parking too close to the driveways, frankly, to prevent people from getting hit.
Okay. Well, I know Trustee Fredericks has been in contact with you, and he, in fact, at our work session prior to this public session, he brought it forward for the trustees, and we definitely have agreed to consider, understanding your situation, and Trustee Fredericks is also working with council, and you might want to speak to it, but he did bring it forward.
Yeah, I think I'd just say that the safety angle is one that is I'll speak only for myself, is one that speaks to me. I think we all pride ourselves on having a safe community, and as the mayor indicated, I've spoken to the village council about it as well, and the board will continue to look at the issue, and we appreciate the issue having been raised.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, and thank you for bringing it forward. Thank you. Yes, good evening.
Lisa Karaman from 1 Sherman Avenue. I just really briefly just kind of had wanted to show up just to say thank you so much for all the, I don't know what you call it, but the street modifications around town, the bump outs and everything. I've as a pedestrian and as a driver, it's really made a huge difference. I feel like it's just so much easier to navigate. There's so many pedestrians on the streets, and it's made a big difference, I think, as a driver and as a pedestrian. So I just want to say thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you. That's so kind of you to come tonight.
Please, you're welcome to come to every meeting. I really mean that.
Yeah. And his name is Bob, if you'd like to thank him personally. Yeah. No, you know what is wonderful, because we hear from people saying their younger children are allowed to walk a little more in downtown. Our senior citizens like the fact that those distances, especially from the soccer store across, so it really makes us all feel good. And just thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, Mayor, if I could just point of inquiry to our village administrator, there seem to be a couple of areas where sidewalks have gotten kind of faded, not in the immediate school area, but it's like, you know, the striping across Tanglewild, you know, where it bends past Park Avenue. It's a part of that school route from Park Avenue down. Is there sort of more plans in the work to do a little more repainting
There
of
is,
roads?
there's a lot more striping to be done. Hopefully, tonight even, they should be starting all the double yellows. So, just trying to be very strategic. We did the Parkway Road parking lot last week, along with the stalls on Parkway Road. Still lots of details to be done. It's ongoing. Where the stop signs used to be on the West Side Circle, we still need to put the triangles in that you put to show the yield approach. So yes, a lot more crosswalks still to be done, including over at Tanglewood Garden. We're working on it. We got trying to stretch this weather out. There's just a lot going on. So it's in the works.
I'm going to bring up, I know there's no good answer on it, but the you and Pondfield intersection is still rattling around at state level to get approvals for that intersection.
We should have asked that when Shelley was here.
22. So here's the answer on that. And of course, I've already given Ashaki the long history of it, and 10 years and counting. It's still planned. What are we in? 25. So I think now it's in the early, it's still in the design phase for 2026 for projects to start somewhere later in 2026. And we're trying out, but yes, I will absolutely be reaching out to the regional director for DOT, who knows we're a regular call on this, probably also with Shelley, to try to get closer down on that list for what's been approved for that intersection, which for the public, again, is adding pedestrian heads and crosswalks across 22 at Pondfield, and also across Northway. Actually, all 5 of those intersections. So, well, no, this is Pondfield at 22. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's the crosswalk that the State Department of Transportation approved over a decade ago and got pushed off during COVID. Now they're saying they have a lack of engineers, so that's what's pushed it out. And it took a little bit longer because there was some taking of land on the corners, but it's not, we're going to get that done.
Did you work with those particular people who are like our contacts there? Is that people? Yeah, that's it. We had somebody on speed dial that was really.
Yeah.
And Jim, when you refer to pedestrian heads, you're talking about buttons and pedestrian.
Yes,
walking, not
push buttons with
signs.
countdowns, yes.
All right, Mr. Hayden, would you like to opine? Yeah. Yes. I spoke to Mr. Hayden because he is on our planning board, and so he has the Iona ball field improvements on his docket. So thank you for coming, because you're right, there's definitely an interrelationship. So, all right, so I think we'll start to the new business. We have a lot of resolutions tonight. The first is an easy one, an intermunicipal agreement with the county for EV charging stations grant. And Mr. Palmer, this is just that we are participating in the program and got some money.
Yes, yep, again, this is your previous, I think we previously approved this, but we finally got the IMA from Westchester County for the partnership between the village, Westchester County, and Con Ed to install 4 new charging stations in the Cedar Street lots. So Ashaki's been reviewing those designs by the contractor. We've given some feedback, and but we needed this IMA from the county. So we're still hopeful that we might be able to get these installed before the end of the year. We'll see. And this is a program that's also has some 20 different towns and villages also participating in it. So, but residents of the towers especially have been asking for some charging stations closer to them and closer to that side of the downtown. So anyway, these will be charge point units similar to what we have in the Parkway Road lot, 2 kiosks with 2 ports on each for a total of 4 units to start with.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the IMA? And a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And
Opposed?
again, that almost $72,000 project will be at no cost to the village.
And consumers, when they plug in, the consumers are paying for the electricity.
Absolutely, yes. They'll need a EV permit from the village, and they'll also pay for their consumption, yes.
Charge card.
Okay, and the next one,
Just before we move on, Jim, I'm surprised that you didn't remind all our viewers that resident parking permits need to be renewed by September 30th, if I'm not correct, while we're on the subject of people parking.
Although we did put it in the newsletter, but yes, for anyone watching us live, yes, right. September 30th is the end date, and the new year for resident parking permits starts October 1. And of course, you can get those, purchase those permits online. You can reach out to Janine Marsigliano, our parking office manager. And yes, October 1 starts that new year.
all right, and the next one does pertain to the Crawford drainage. It's a SEQRA determination. And then, Mr. Palmer, will you also mention where people can see the plan in detail?
Yes, so we've talked about this several times. However, what you're approving tonight is again authorizing me to sign both parts 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form that's been completed, and to reaffirm that there's no adverse environmental impact for this project. And this follows our notice to the county, the village of Tuckahoe, the town of Eastchester, and other involved and interested agencies that the board was going to be the lead agency on this project, which is, again, the Crawford Street drainage improvements consisting of detention areas as well as a stream channel through the area known as the Crawford Meadows, the open space that extends from Archer and Dusenberry up to almost the end of Alder. So big project that's going to be ongoing for the year. Also includes the replacement of sanitary sewer lines that run underneath the field from the neighboring streets out to Crawford, and the removal of one of the existing drainage conveyance systems that goes from Middle all the way underneath the field out to Crawford. That will be removed, and again, instead, we'll be creating an open channel. The plans are available on the village website under the trustees page. If you go to stormwater projects, you can go down to the Crawford drainage improvements. So lots of ongoing work. I want to thank Lisa, who's done several walkthroughs with me and is especially concerned about the plant life, the native trees, and has been participating with Ben Lenz, who lives nearby and has also done the walkthroughs. And we've now, with the contractor, identified the trees that can stay on the perimeter and what needs to be moved and what needs to be removed. And some of the working gardeners are working on relocating some of those smaller plantings. So right now, tentative start date is early October. Next meetings on the agenda is the mayor and I, of course, and Ashaki will be meeting with the town of Eastchester officials tomorrow. And Wednesday, I am meeting with, Ashaki and I are meeting with the Cottle School principal and Tuckahoe School superintendent to discuss the project along with the chief of police. So lots ongoing. We'll continue to put information out on the website, but yes, it will be a real positive project that will improve drainage, also create some natural features, and restore the park area to even better than it is now.
I think that's a really good point. It provides much better drainage, but it's also going to have an end result of more usable space for the community.
Right.
Taking the woods out of that.
Woods that were always flooded and have garbage in them.
Right.
And it will, of course, be a lot of construction for a while, but I think residents just have to be patient. And, some trees are going to come out, but, a lot of them, non-native, invasive, very old or frail. And I think to echo what Trustee Knapp just said, I think everyone's been very sensitive throughout to the concern that the final landscaping project is really up to sort of Bronxville standards and that it will be a win-win-win across the board.
All righty. So do I have someone to move the SEQRA determination regarding the Crawford project?
So moved.
And a second? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, some of the next items are housekeeping items, but in that small amounts of funding, but some different sources. So that's why we're doing these individually. And again, thank you, Lori Voss, who has been working on these
Yes.
resolutions on the
Our
weekend.
treasurer has some, yes.
Keeping track.
So the first item is just done. It is authorizing the purchase of a new water fountain for the tennis courts. This also has the water bottle filler station, which we didn't have on the old one, so it's safer to use. Cost of this item is $5,400, and the resolution before you is just to authorize use of unassigned fund balance, and this was another team effort. Bought it through a vendor who's on state contract, and the DPW installed the unit, and frankly, the other unit was out of service. We didn't want to use it during service at COVID. We have a water meter for it, but the high school coach brought it to my attention again, how helpful it would be for the students for the season in tennis. So there we go. And it's environmental friendly because the students can fill up their water bottles.
Perfect. I'll move that. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next one is even easier, isn't we have,
Yep,
Just
just
to-
a small police desk for police desk equipment at a cost of $5,200. Since being the cost-effective police department, we have equipment that's over 15 years old there. So
What is, like a lot for just a desk, is it
Having functionality is
it seems like.
these are, there's multiple desks, multiple pieces with really what we call like workstations for our senior officers, all new workstations for the lieutenant.
all right, would someone like to move that for the new police desk?
Desks. Yep.
Well, I'm assuming it's not from IKEA.
Walden's Business Enterprises.
Yeah, not from IKEA.
Okay.
Can we just say new police desks in plural rather than the
Yes,
singular? Okay,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or workstation.
workstation might be,
Workstation, we'll change it to
Yeah.
workstations. Can you make a note of that,
Workstations,
Mary
plural.
Ann? Yep, thank you, thank you.
Workstations, plural.
Okay,
All right.
next item,
wait, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay.
next item is continuing upgrades to our cable equipment. This is upgrade of our audio.
Yeah, yeah, we do, yeah. So this is what we were talking about earlier. So we're just going to, I think I just need someone to move that we spend $7,850 on the project that Jim talked about in his report, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move it. And do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
And those monies are held in a separate account through our public access grants that the village has with our franchise renewals for cable. And the next item, another housekeeping item, is an upgrade to Microsoft Office for all the village computers.
70 village computers.
Yeah, yeah, so long needed.
At a total cost of $25,083.
Would someone like to move that?
I'll move that.
All right, and
May I just ask, what's the life on those? 40? 4. Have to spend another 25,000 in 4 years?
Something like that.
yeah, but the average life is 4 years on this, yeah. For 4 years, I see. Okay, did someone move that?
I just think we should say, I think we should have the term of the license in there. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Just these license with a life of 4 years for something like that.
Got it, okay.
So when
Okay.
it comes up again in 4 years, it'll,
I mean, my personal experience is that these licenses are very annoying because just as you figure out how to use one version of Microsoft, they change it. You have to pay for a new license, and then you have to learn all these new, systems. But I mean, it seems reasonable to me. But I agree that
We can make a note of that, but yes, the next battle is going to be converting all the desktops over because, yes, you do get used to the old version that you have.
So could someone move that with that amendment? We'll add the term of the license. Okay.
I'll
Bob,
second it.
second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, the next item, big news that we mentioned in our newsletter this month, Matt Evans, who is our Director of Rackets for 5 years, did a wonderful job, great support in the community, really built the tennis program up, has had a new opportunity come up for the new tennis program that's going to be going in at Ridge Hill. So he's accepted that position. However, with that, over the summer, we met with different vendors and we have the opportunity to engage the services of Elite Racket Solutions. And they're very familiar with the village, have an excellent group of pros, and have excellent management experience, including currently managing the tennis club in Westchester, which has been in existence for over 100 years, located in Scarsdale, which was struggling financially, and their management the team there didn't have enough, couldn't say enough wonderful things about them. And they
that's the tennis club you pass if you're driving along the Bronx River Parkway.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Again, in existence for over 100 years, but struggling, and within the past few years, thanks to Elite Rackets, has been turned around. And the group also manages the Pleasantville Tennis Club as well. So they're prepared to step into the same role at a cost not to exceed what we were previously paying Matt. The arrangement, what you'll be doing here is authorizing me to once again enter into a contract with them. They'd be an independent contractor with the village. They'd provide us be responsible for their own insurance. They'd be managing the facilities, including managing court usage, not only for the tennis programs, but also for the paddle programs. So my hope is that we're going to continue with that momentum. Already, we've switched over to a new online reservation system, which is more intuitive, make it easier for individuals to sign up, families to sign up, to also block off what's used by the school. And they've been in communication. We've had several meetings with the high school team, high school coaches. I think they find them really responsive so far. So,
So if you wanted a lesson, you would sign up for the village website or through their company?
it's still through the village website.
I would love to like have them come to a meeting and
You can-
explain.
I
you
think
know,
they would
their
love that, yep.
views and- Are they going to have like a primary person like Matt who's designated?
Yes,
program guy?
yes, that woman is Mary Elise Watts, and she's been our liaison. I think she would love to come and explain about their organization, and I think their intention is to do more programming, some more perhaps community events, pickleball tournaments, likewise paddle events.
It'd be fun if they did like, I know clubs, they do this like exhibition matches where they have the pros come and like demonstration.
No, and I think their group of
Great idea.
Their group of tennis professionals that they have really have quite a bit of expertise. So, yep, Mary Ann, remind me, we'll put that under, have them. I'll reach out to Mary Elise to come to the October meeting. which
And
will be
there's
on
no
Tuesday.
monetary increase.
Correct.
Okay. Yep, all right. Okay, Helen moved it, I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Aye, opposed? Motion passes, and thank you, Jim, for finding them.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
Okay, next item is another housekeeping item. This is authorizing a transfer to the capital fund for $318,079. And these were projects that you previously already approved and approved for the use of fund balance, but are now being moved to the projects that you had created. I think there's about 8 of them, which include a couple of the police cars that we purchased, the contribution that we made to a portion of the contribution we made with the school district on the trees, the library office space room, the village's contribution was $70,000. You had previously approved that and use of fund. So you're simply authorizing this transfer to the capital projects.
okay, would someone like to move that?
So moved.
And a second. Second. All those in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion passes. And another housekeeping item, I believe.
Yes, this much longer list of project. This is authorizing the closeout of a host of capital projects that are now completed and are now funded with the ban that was converted to a bond in the spring of this year. Just to go over some of the larger projects. Again, the traffic light I talked about earlier over here at Midland and Pondfield, project is all completed and closed out. There were a variety of funding sources for that, some of which came from debt service and this bond issuance, some of which had also come from ARPA money, you recall. Wood and sewer project, all completed and closed out. Again, some of that was funded previously through the ban. That ban, again, now converted to a bond. Anyway, you had the whole list of projects.
Okay, all right. I will move the closeout of our completed capital projects. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, so now we're up to J.
We have two JA and JB.
Right. Well, right. We're going to go through, right. We have several of these that might, that we're going to be, add-ons, but we should probably try to stay in somewhat of an order. All right, J is the authorizing the appointment of police lieutenant.
Perfect. Do you want to talk to that a little, Bob? Just
Yes, following the recent retirement of Lieutenant Carroll, there was an opening for lieutenant in the police department. We have had two, so when Lieutenant Carroll retired, it left one, so there's an appointment recommending the appointment of Michael Lewis as lieutenant. The chief and Lieutenant DeYoung interviewed three of the sergeants, all outstanding members of the Bronxville PD, and they made the decision to recommend Michael Lewis to serve as lieutenant. We spent about 45 minutes with him today, and he's been an outstanding officer in our force. He's been as a sergeant, obviously, and he's been a firearms instructor. And he is going to be, he's a great addition as lieutenant. So I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And do we have another police?
So, all right, so Marion, I think we'll just take these slightly out of order. So there's going to be a new, okay, if you want to keep the police items together. So K is going to be a resolution for the board to consider the appointment of Giovanni Leo as police officer with the Village of Bronxville Police Department at the earliest date upon approval by Westchester County Human Resources.
And again, he was recommended, we all interviewed the officer. We all feel very lucky to have him. Bob, if you want to give a little background on Giovanni?
Yeah, but first, we will background on the force, because we're currently at 21 officers. We had one officer leave a couple months ago, so that took us to 21 officers. And so with bringing Officer Leo on board, that'll bring us up to 22. I think, as you remember, our target has been 26. So we're running very lean. We had two sergeants and a lieutenant just recently retire, so that brought us from a 25 down to 22, and then this other departure took us to 21. And then Giovanni Leo joins us from the New York PD. He was in the 40th precinct. He and his fiance live in Tuckahoe, and so he's very familiar with Tuckahoe and Bronxville, and he has a tremendous experience in community policing in his precinct in the Bronx, and has a very, very impressive record of being a very committed officer and doing so with a tremendous reputation over a relatively short period of time. So I'd like to move that we adopt the resolution appointing Giovanni Leo as a police officer. Second.
And Trustee Barron seconded,
Yes,
and then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Terrific officer, and I can't wait to have him on board.
Okay, so then we will go back to L, which is, I call it another housekeeping item, because you had previously approved the boiler replacement for the library at a cost of $373,600. And as our wonderful Senator Shelley Mayer had noted, she helped the village receive a $100,000 grant for that project. And that is being funded through a different program within the Dormitory Authority of New York. And they wanted a clarification on the bond and on the debt service. So if you're essentially approving the same resolution, but you're approving the authorizing the bond issuance to pay for the boiler replacement, whereas before we simply had the issuance of debt. State Dormitory Authority just wanted that clarified. Same amount of money, same project, but Lori Voss is, as always, works very carefully with the state agencies to ensure we get our reimbursement, and they want this language clarified. So,
Perfect. So this is a clarification
Accurate.
resolution, correct? So I will move it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
okay,
And
so-
Lori, thank you very much
Yes.
for the tremendous work you do and the diligence with which you do it.
Yes.
okay,
There's a
so,
new resolution getting passed down.
yep, okay, so that was L, and then we have two more add-ons that I started to briefly mention in my reports, and these will be M and N, and these are for an application to Westchester County under their, I think it's a Safe Streets initiative that would allow us to fund the design and constructions for submittal for an application to design and receive design funding and construction funding for those improvements at the intersection that I talked about earlier, which is at Pondfield and Meadow, which is a logical extension as we start to head out from the downtown and where we've currently started that pilot project. And of course, we welcome community feedback on these. And I do know that the condominium complex abutting where the crosswalk has been put in place is absolutely supportive of it and was well aware of our efforts. So we do want to get feedback on how it's working. All that striping has been done. As Trustee Fredericks asked, more striping to be done. But so just two of these.
So, Jim, hold on. This is to apply for funding for the project that we just finished.
But what we're doing right now is we've just started. This is to do the actual design. What we have is a pilot where we've done some striping and painted the bump out, painted the crosswalk. This would be the formal design that we would share with the public and what the sidewalks and the curving would look like, just like we did with the downtown. This is not something that's done overnight. We get feedback on. We have to have markouts of utilities, drainage. So it's an application to the county to committing to work cooperatively with them to do the project. That's basically the first resolution.
Okay,
committing
so
to
we
work.
have to do them separately. So I'll move the first one, and I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
And then the second one is agreeing to fund up to 50% of the projects with the county picking up the other 50%.
Okay, then
In essence, that means that if the county doesn't agree to commit 50%, then we're not doing it.
Then you would revisit, right, and decide whether or not you would want to do it. Exactly. And this is, again, the county would cover 50% of the design and the construction is what we're applying for.
Have a good feeling that
Honestly, on this, it's, we're early on. I wanted us to get something in, and this isn't, I don't know.
How are we going to decide, like, what is the feedback we need to decide whether this is like worth it, doing it? Like I thought the kids would not continue to do that nice path of walking. I thought they would just, maybe do it for the first few days, but then if nobody's watching them, they just continue as they were before. I'm just wondering are you looking for specific indicators that will say this is actually a good design and
Yeah, well, I think we would, a portion of the design would be installing a sidewalk that we don't currently have. So, right, so if we have some students that are walking there now, that's positive. Honestly, I've actually seen adults even starting to walk within the pylon area, but again, right now, there's no sidewalk there. So I think it's a logical place to have a sidewalk, given that we even have crosswalks all the way down at the intersection with Garden. What we would probably also do is put up, improve the striping and put up bollards like we did on the west side and the east side to better define where the bump outs would be at Meadow. The goal is again to improve the sight line, shrink that exposure. I think that would be a real benefit regardless even of students always using the sidewalk because it's,
I agree with
yeah.
that. The bump
And-
out is going to be
Yeah,
great.
and again, honestly, we've spent a lot of time observing, we'll spend a lot more time observing. That location just gets a lot of traffic, and frankly, we have a difficult time having it staffed with a crossing guard. And our full-time park enforcement officer right now is dedicated to that location. Over the years, we've had a lot of turnover. And I think, and that's because there's a lot going on. So what we've done in the interim is, you see, we've put cones out to almost sort of shrink the road. So I think the feedback would be, as we announce it, as we promote this more, put additional bollards out, hopefully get the same feedback like we did in the downtown. It's working, we're starting to slow cars down, and maybe that means also doing some counts.
Okay, then I just need someone.
Move it.
All right, and I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Trustees, Mr. Palmer, anybody have anything before I close the meeting that we might have forgotten?
That's pretty good. Mary Ann, did you get all that?
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
Mary
Mary Ann, because we made a lot of changes on you tonight, so thank you. All righty, then I need a motion to close our September meeting.
So moved.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the October meeting is,
October 14th, day after Columbus Day.
all right, that's
Tuesday.
true, it's a
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
yes.
That's our change because of the holiday. So Tuesday, the 14th of October, we shall see everyone. Thank you. Thank you.